Good day, good day, good day, good morning. Saturday, September 19th, 2020. Oh my, Jesse and I are sleepy tired. We got in late last night from our trip back from Louisiana and came in. We haven't even unpacked. I mean, it just came in, like threw everything down and went to bed. And then woke up, had to return the rental car, got back with like 15 minutes to spare, and here we are. So anyway, I'm super excited to be here, to see y'all, just to hang out, to chit chat. And Jesse, it's good seeing you, as if we haven't seen each other enough. Give me some thoughts, man. What do you think about last week and how that went?
Oh man, yeah, I'm still trying to kind of process everything. I mean, yeah, Joe woke up this morning, did the daily gig, jumped. I followed him to drop off the rental car. We met Melissa to pick up his son, and then we came here and we got set up. So we have yet to even like decompress from everything. I have yet to even go home. But I have to say, whenever we drive back, well, Joe drives back. He always the one that drives. And what I do is I read the critiques in the car, and it's incredible how no matter how many times we've done this, it's still awesome to get responses like, I've been doing this for over 20 years. I've been to all types of schools, all types of trainings all over the country. And whenever I hear this, it never gets old or doesn't affect me. You guys are the best instructors and provide the best training I've ever had in my entire career. And it always gets me like right in the feels, and allows me to go keep wanting to do this more, which is kind of what the topic of this show is. And I'll let Joe get to that. But moreover, like a lot of things happen during the week. It's every group is different. And also at the same time, every group has similarities. And it's always, who are you guys? Why are you here? What is this about? I don't want to be here. Like, I don't believe in this, or I've heard stuff about this, or I'm tired of the police being told they need more training. And then you just watch this transition. And then on Friday, they've absorbed everything you've taught them. They're doing things the way you would. They're like thinking through these complex problems, and they sound like what you told them to say. And it's the most rewarding experience I can have. And then afterwards, the praise and gratitude they show you, it's incredible. And so that's a new thing, right, Jen? Very important. This is the first time that we put this training on, and they got to watch the film. And Joe and I went back and forth about this, like, when should we show it? And we both agreed it should be at the end of the week, and that's what happened. And I'll let Joe talk about that feedback.
Yeah, so we debated. Once I learned that we were going to have access to show it during the training, we went back and forth on the pros and cons of starting off with it and or ending with it. And we kind of settled somewhere in the middle, because we didn't do it as like the last thing, because I didn't want to just show it and leave, but I also wanted to make sure that they had some bit of relationship with us first. Also, the film does a great job capturing certain elements of the training, and so I didn't want to like just give everything away up front either. So anyway, for us, and it was just a trial, and I think I liked the way it landed. I don't know that I would change it doing it again. I think it fit perfectly Thursday after lunch. And so they spend the whole week with us. They're doing role plays. We're doing multiple classes, and Thursday morning they're getting like a trauma affected veterans course, trauma informed care, ACEs. They're getting some like personalized courses, which with that, because of the style that Jesse and I have when we teach, they're getting to like intimately know us and know our personal stories and our backgrounds and struggles. And so then we go on lunch break, and then when they come back and we put the movie on, and it hit perfectly, because they already had that relationship established with us. And so for them to watch it again, the feedback really was incredible. And I think it just, to then be able to actually spend more time with them, because actually right after the film, we brought in a local consumer from the community who was in recovery and has a very compelling story. And so we invited her back from our first training to speak to the officers, and that was after the movie and break. And so it really went well, and better than I expected, actually. Not the movie portion, but just the placement of it. Again, I think, I've yet to hear anything negative about the movie, but we used it as a training tool as well, which I think was super cool. Is, people were teaching them through the didactic portion about like ideas and theory and philosophy and like why we do the things we do. And it's all just lesson based. And then through the role plays, we get to actually implement some of the strategies, and we get to reinforce the learning, and we get to build them up and encourage them. But then with the film, for them to see it in practice, for them to actually see it in real time happening, it kind of closes that loop. But anyway, I thought it was a cool experience.
It absolutely was, Joe, and I agree with you. It ended up being a really good training tool. And so, one, we didn't want to like show all our cards, because we don't just come out and say, hey, like, we're broken people that have gone through like everything. Like that's right, Zach. They exactly are. You read that, bud? I got one for you anyway. So don't worry, we're going to cover that pretty little bald head before you know it. We'll get you one. Not that I don't like it, but it gets cold up there. We want to cover your head. But anyway, I digress, because, oh yeah, we didn't want to show everything, right? There's a very important way we do things, and we progress, and we start revealing ourselves little by little. And they're like, oh, these guys know this, right? Oh, they have done this. Oh, they've been through this. So, but we do that very strategically throughout the week. And we didn't want to show a lot up front, because Joe's trauma is like out there in that movie. I mean, it's pretty raw. But what we continuously have had is people say, like, I wish we could see videos of you guys in action. Like, I wish we could see videos of you guys doing this. And that's kind of problematic, because, well, that's our job with the police agency, and we can't really have that available to us for, conflicting reasons. But this movie has kind of allowed for that. And they actually see crisis intervention live, if you will. So that's been beneficial also. But it also allows them to be more intimate with Joe, and like really get to know him. And also, it's just like a cool experience, because that's when I think it really hits them, like, these guys are the real deal. And it all just comes together. So I think it was perfectly placed. I think Thursday evening was a smart place to put it. And Jen, thank you so much for allowing us to do that. It'd be something we've talked about and thought of. I didn't know if it'd be possible. And I got to say, I hope we're able to do it again. It's really, really good.
Yeah, people are loving these hats. We just got these in, so it was nice to come home to. I mean, it's great to come home to, families and dogs and people, but I was so excited when Jess sent me the picture yesterday that the hats came in. I was like, oh, heck yeah. Makes it more exciting. So anyway, I ordered a first batch just for them to do the artwork, to check it out, to see how it looks. So it's actually like pressed into a leather patch on the hat. And so we're going to sell them for $149 each for anyone that wants them. All right. That's not true. We're just going to probably give them away. But anyway.
And for Jennifer, we're going to give you one hat for a week at your beach house. I think that's a pretty fair trade. Just kidding. I got one for you too, if you want it. You've always been a great supporter of us and good friend, and we'll give you anything. Jennifer Grigg, really great question. It's interesting, because I just did a radio show in Toronto Global News, the John Oakley Show. And we talked about some issues. I believe there was a big deal about a police patch that an officer was wearing with a skull on it, and it made a big controversy, and we kind of talked through a lot of police symbolisms and what they mean and what they can and come across according to the public if they don't know, and maybe the division that it could kind of highlight. But furthermore, I just got invited to speak at a global public health conference in 2021, and it's going to be in Toronto also. So we're hoping that'll open some opportunities and maybe like open some insight. But it's supposed to be public health, and seems very medical oriented. but it looks like they're opening it more for our topics of mental health and public safety. So, and I think Joe is maybe a keynote speaker there also. So we're going to be in Canada in 2021. I just hope it leads to more, but we are absolutely open to training internationally. We certainly would love to. If you know people, let them know we're here.
Yeah. So one of the epiphanies I think that we had this week too is, Justin Hagler, which huge shout out again. I'm always rocking his stuff, Simple Church. But he's always pushing us to think outside the box. He's always pushing us to think of, yeah, this is phenomenal. And it is, but like, how can we do more? Like, how can you scale it up? How can you help other people? How can you grow this? And it's such an important question. And again, Jesse and I are very, very quick to admit that we're not masters of all things. And we're very good at what we do, but we're not like, we can't be experts in everything. And so, I appreciate the conversation that it invites though, when he asks this, but what we were thinking is like, what is our differentiator? We both know our why. I mean, that is a very simple question for us to answer as far as why we do what we do and why we're ready to scale this up. But what makes us different than anyone else doing it? What makes us different than any other companies out there that are doing this type of thing? And for me, it really came down to this idea of, we're not just trying to like sell a training. CIT training they're a dime a dozen. They've been around forever. There's 1,000 different deliveries on how to do a CIT training, sadly. So it's not just like, hey, hire us to come in and do a training and like, that's going to be enough. For us, it's really about like the program development. It's the program implementation. And this isn't a slight to any other counties or areas that we've worked with, but just being brought in to do a training when it's convenient or when there's enough capital or when you have enough interest is good. But what I love about Shreveport is, yes, big thanks obviously to the Simple Church and Justin Hagler for being able to raise the capital to get us out there. But Shreveport has like fully bought in and didn't even know exactly what they were buying into. And we talked about this 2 weeks ago when we came back. But the fact that they want us to come back and do more, but they had enough insight to understand, like, you know what? We aren't going to be equipped to just do this after 1 or 2 trainings. We need you guys to do several, and then we're going to do a train the trainer, and then we want you to come back and watch us do it, and then maybe we'll just look at doing refreshers and everything else. But we're going to essentially train about 15% of their whole agency before we pick the ones that we want to do the train the trainer. And then we vet the ones that are going to be able to actually carry this. And then we're going to do an audit to make sure that they're doing it the right way, the way that we would have it be done based on the relationships that we've helped them build with their community. It's been a powerful, powerful experience for us. But I realized that, we can come into almost any community. I mean, they don't even have a local NAMI there, which is an important piece of any training, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, but they don't have a NAMI and they can still have a very effective program. From that, their sister city is Bossier City, and there's just a river that divides them. And we met with their department head and the fire chief, and they were like, he goes, look, personally for me, I don't really believe in the train the trainer models. I've never seen it done as well after someone goes through a train the trainer, which I agree with. I think people are. I was telling a colleague this morning. But I said, if people were just willing to stay in their lane, there would be a lot less pollution in the world. There's too many like crossing overs and like trying to be masters of all things and wearing all the hats. And so he goes, look, I don't want to do a train the trainer. I want you guys to come in and just train everybody, like just throughout the year, 2 years, whatever, just you come do it all, like monthly, whatever we got to do. I want you guys just do the whole thing. And it's like, that's incredible, because now you're talking about us training their entire 206, 230 men and women officer firefighter departments. Like, that's a program. That's where we can shift culture. To me, it's not just about doing one training of 20 or 40 people and then just wishing them well and hoping for the best. What happened between our first week in Shreveport and our second week is Sergeant Bree Rivera from the academy created this like data metric sheet that she sent out to all the CIT trained officers. And now she's having them capture information and a synopsis of the call and certain data that now they're going to start tracking those metrics based on the training. And we heard just some phenomenal stories about one of the officers we trained was on a call. He recognized it was a mental health call, and a sergeant showed up and was telling him like, "Hey, hurry up. You've been out here long enough. Just arrest their ass, put them in jail, and let's wrap this up." And he was like, no, Sarge, I'm trying to use the CIT skills. And she was like, I don't give a shit what you're doing. Like, wrap it up and let's go. Just put him in jail. He's always drunk. So that officer ended up calling a sergeant that went through the CIT training. She came out to the scene, relieved the other sergeant respectfully, and said, all right, we got it. I'll take care of it. And he said everything about that call was different. The way he filled out the report, the words he was using, once he got to the hospital, the handoff was different. But more importantly than any of that arbitrary, like anecdotal stuff, he goes, that guy told me when we got to the hospital, he said, I've been struggling with alcohol for years, and nobody has one time in all of my hospitalizations and treatment plans, nobody one time has asked me why I'm doing this. And the officer spent the time to actually get to know this guy's story, ask the questions the right way, and got him to open up and find out that he was suffering like tremendous loss. I mean, like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know it was this guy was so grateful that the officer took the time to actually get to know his story and get to know the reason behind his behavior. It's easy to show up and be like, oh, you're drunk. Let's go. We're taking you in. But the officer was like, no, this guy's, he's in pain. Something's wrong. I can see he's spiraling. Let me actually talk to him and focus on him, not the reason why we're here. And it really is emotional. I mean, it was so powerful just to be like, man, they get it. And they want to do more, and they want to train their entire department, and they want to like capture data. And it's just so exciting. And so it's not about the training. It's about creating programs, like sustainable programs that are going to last. And those are going to be the things that really shift the culture in law enforcement.
Yeah, his son had actually died. I don't remember what the call. I think he killed himself maybe, but I know his son his son had died. And then from there, his life had spiraled out of control. But I think it's important for a couple of reasons, right? I mean, and just within that week, Sergeant Rivera Bree, she had 4 qualitative metrics already, like 4 incidents of CIT officers that had gone through the training 1 week later. This is a class of 20-ish, went to 4. 4 had already submitted these forms saying this is what we did. And I got to say, like, it's one thing to see them in the role plays and they're coachable and you develop them, and then they come out using it. But whenever they are in the field using it and it's benefiting them, that's really rewarding. And I agree with you, Joe, because a lot of places, I mean, sometimes we go to really, really rural areas and they don't have a big department. They got a few people, they send their people, and they have the skill set, and that's all they really can do. They can't do much more. Sometimes you'll have people like Zach Barclay who can, with the small department, still make considerable change, and he like spearheads things and starts moving things around. But guys that came are few and far between. But this department and their officers are the ones that are asking for a program to be implemented. They're the ones that push for this. We didn't sell anything. We don't go in there saying, hey, like, we're going to give you whatever you want, and this is great, and it'll help you. But implementing a program is a whole different thing. And why that is because I think a lot of CIT programs can teach you mental health basics. They can teach you how to communicate. I argue they won't be as effective as Joe and I, but they can be effective. They probably won't be as entertaining as Joe. And they may not care about as much as the science as I do behind things. And that gives us a great balance. But I know the difference maker between us is like our purpose is to influence culture change from the individual on. And we were given the opportunity to do it in Shreveport, and we're watching it happen. We're watching it come to fruition. Moreover, like the Simple Church, specifically Justin, like, and his people are like, they see it, like they're sit through the training, they just watch and they're observing, and they are amazed, and they want to push this. So Shreveport isn't a very rich town, right? The department doesn't have a lot of money, but thanks to the Simple Church, like, they see the need for this. And Joe and I are like, I don't know if we can ask him for this, if they can do more. We got to figure something out. No, he's taking it all on, and you got to go to the Simple Church on YouTube, and if anything, watch next Sunday. not tomorrow, but next Sunday. Well, watch it all, but next Sunday specifically, I think you're going to really get hit with what we do.
And I apologize. I just got a message to stop chewing my gum. I didn't mean to offend anybody. But one of the things too that was awesome, Jesse was talking about, I just love our routine of, him reading the critiques to me when we leave. But we had several messages come through. So one was from Justin Hegler. One of the officers actually reached out to him personally, sent him a text thanking him for the effort he had placed to bring us out there and for feeding them all week. And then Bree, the sergeant at the academy, sent me a screenshot of a text from one of the officers that hasn't even been through our training. And he was asking her if she knew dates of when we were going to be coming back, because he was hearing such good things about it and he wanted to come into the next one. That is the most rewarding thing for us. It's like when the word is spreading, and that's what we understand about like the ripple effects. And it works. The same is true on the negative side. It's like if they have a bad experience, if something goes wrong, it's like that spreads as well. And so, we try and focus so much on, let's quickly talk about the problem and how we got here, but then let's actually focus on solutions and ways forward and how we can do it better and smarter. And we can actually truly influence or change human behavior. And these interactions can go very, very different if we're willing to take the time and develop the rapport and have the patience required to actually get people to open up to us. We have to remember why we do the things we do. And this is important for all first responders, but nobody came into this profession. And I tell this story when I teach, but nobody got into the role of being a first responder with the hope of saying, you know what, within 5 years, I really hope just to be incredibly depressed, miserable, irritable. I want to be emotionally checked out and void from my family. And I just want to be angry all the time. Nobody comes into this world to do that. And yet it happens fairly quickly because we quickly lose sight of what matters. And we become frustrated, and what we call moral injury happens over time, where the system, because of the gaps in the system and the lack of funding and the lack of care and the lack of capacity for treatment and the lack of all the things. I mean, the criminal justice system's a mess. The mental health system's a mess. And so those are the facts. But how can we, and that's what I love too about the film, is while Jen would tell you it was never a how-to film, it's a film on hope, but it gives people the idea to at least start these conversations of like, well, wait a minute, because if I look at the facts, I know Texas really kind of sucks when it comes to federal dollars to support people with mental health crises. And I know that they don't get they're bottom in the country when it comes to funding on all things mental health. I know when it comes to capacity, they're a very populated state, and yet they don't have adequate resources. And so yet with all of that, how do they still succeed? And it's because you have relationships and you have collaboration and you have shared hurt. And so, it's bringing those learned lessons into other areas that just feel hopeless and feel like there's no way forward. It's just going to be the status quo on repeat, and say like, no, guys, we can actually do this better. We can, because, and again, what Jesse was just finishing with is, we focus on the individual officer. And I stress this everywhere I go, but the better you know yourself, the better you can help other people, the better you can relate and connect. And so when I focus on me, it benefits we. And so we teach the officers how to be better individual people, which then creates a better organization or agency, which creates a better department community relationship. And the one thing I skipped is the better individual officer creates a better family, because that's important, because again, first responder roles are tough and you have to have that family support. And then that has the better agency, the better relationship with the community. So it isn't super complex when you can really zoom out, see the problem for what it is, and just break it down to like, okay, let's focus on these things that we can control. And we've been very, very fortunate and successful at doing that thus far.
I think it's really easy for police officers or police administrators to be like, now's not the time, we got too much to worry about, or it's just it's tough right now, like we don't have money and things of that nature, whatever excuses you can come up with. And I was listening to the academy director say this police department isn't going through an easy time. They are severely understaffed. They may be having some internal issues. They while we were there, the last day we were there, they handed down several indictments of their officers. I believe 4 officers were indicted for I think it would be our equivalent to maybe negligent homicide, and another law that they refer to as malfeasance. Um, and it rocked the room. It rocked the room that morning. It really did, and they were all talking about it. They were kind of in disbelief, but they were also like equally vested in the training and so happy to have gotten what they got and the camaraderie had built with them. But the lieutenant was saying, all I ever hear is how there's not money for this or there's not time for this. I can't give an officer off the street for a week to put him in some course about how to talk to people. Like, what is wrong with you? And he said, you know what? If you don't pay now as an administrator or as a department or a city or a county, whatever, you're going to pay later. And think about the amount of time that these 4 officers are going to be out. I don't know the details of the case. I don't know if CIT would have changed anything or not, but he was making this point, not me. Imagine the amount of time that these 4 officers are out. Imagine the publicity that it's making. Imagine the stress on these 4 officers. Think about the morale it's causing the department. Think about what will happen in the future. How much is this going to cost in lawsuits? You can't afford not to have Joe and Jesse here. And this is what he said. And Joe and I mean, everywhere we go, we've had support and love, and people get us and they like us. But man, Shreveport, I gotta say, man, they get it, and they're probably better marketers of ourselves than we could ever be.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. All right. So anyway, I feel like you're caught up. Jesse, what were you doing this episode about today anyway? Do you remember?
I think you have some big news to give, bud. I'm pretty sure you do.
That's subjective. I don't know. Anyway, so I did title this show Huge Announcement Coming. And so I just wanted to share with you all my big announcement without further ado, because we're 26 minutes in. Here's the deal. I am very, very fortunate that I've had the life that I've had, and I've found a way to turn all of my wounds into wisdom. Shout out to Oprah Winfrey. And that this June of 2020 marked 20 years of service for me. 4 years in the Marine Corps. And then because I joined the Marine Corps in June of 2000. And so now June of this year, it's been 20 years of just service in one way or another. And so for the last 15 years now, I've been with the San Antonio Police Department, and I have been very, very fortunate to have the position that I've had and to have the amount of learning that I've had. And it's what really was the catalyst of, again, if you know our early story, we were pushed to start this company. And I was hesitant because, again, I didn't see myself as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. I was afraid of it because of insecurities and not knowing what I didn't know. But enough people had said, hey, you guys should probably help other people out. Like, you have a skill set, you should probably address it. You should probably help other people out. And so I don't know, I thought about it, and I found the way, and I found the track, and we started in 2017. And so it was just good. And we were comfortable with this being our side hustle, if you will. It alleviated us from having to work police side jobs. It allowed us to make a little bit of extra money and income for our family, or to offset that cost, and get to do what we really love, which was helping other officers do exactly what we were talking about last week. And there's been a series of events that have taken place now that have led me to the decision that I am, effective Thursday of this coming week, the 24th of September, I am voluntarily resigning from the department to pursue Solution Point Plus full-time. And while I say it's bittersweet, it is more sweet. And that's not me trying to convince myself. That's my true story. I'm grateful for the department and everything that I've gained from it. I'm grateful for the relationships that I've developed. I'm grateful for the skill set that they've helped me hone. But I just keep slamming into walls, and I keep slamming into barriers. And so, there's I don't know what the exact saying is, but it goes something to the effect of, you can either complain about something or change it. And for me to change the department, I would have to stay a long, long time and promote through the ranks and work my way up in something that I don't have the desire to do, because quality of life is far more important to me. And so this isn't a money move. In fact, some people would say this is a foolish, ridiculous decision for me to walk away from a guaranteed paycheck and benefits. And in the midst of COVID, look, I mean, one of the few professions that are surviving and getting paid is first responders. And so to voluntarily leave that to pursue a dream, to pursue a hope, to pursue something far greater than myself or Jesse, and Jesse's hanging in. So I'm taking this leap to go kind of just see, to prove that we can do it, because I believe in myself, I believe in Jesse, I believe in us, and I believe in the mission that we have and our purpose and our why, and why we're wanting to do what we're doing. And I'll tell you, these last 2-3 weeks working with Shreveport validated that beyond anything else. And again, we have things lined up for the rest of this year. I have one job lined up in 2021. That's it. This is a huge leap of faith for me, for my family. I've talked to everyone about it that is in my family. My kids are all aware of it. And this is a decision that I'm grateful to Jess that I have her support on. But ultimately, it's a decision that I'm going to make for my own peace of mind and my own sanity. Because here's the reality. We only get one shot at this. And my biggest fear in life is getting sick or finding out that my time is coming and then having to look back and live with regret of not doing something that I really, really wanted to do or that I loved. And so I think the time is now, and the world is kind of pivoting into our path. And so I want to pursue this full time. I understand that as long as I'm a police officer, they own me. They are allowed to control what I say and how I show up and who I can talk to and who I can't. And I need to shed that now, and I need to allow that to be a part of my history and take the step into my future. And, and this isn't a decision that I take lightly about just me and my kids and my family, but also Jesse and his family. And I know, that this is something that I want to do to take care of us, but that's secondary to truly changing the culture of law enforcement in this country, to changing the face of what being a first responder in this country looks like. And I really, really want to be a big part of the future of first responders and changing it, because we have to get to a place now, I think, where we need to listen, and there has to be changes, and we have to implement some level of reform, and there are things that need to be changed. And so why not go be a voice to help that? So anyway, I got 4 more days. I work on Monday. I'm teaching in service Tuesday. I'm going to turn in all my stuff on Wednesday. Thursday is my last day, and I'm going to teach in service because that's normally what I do. And I'm going to teach my wellness class. And then as soon as I'm done teaching that class Thursday at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, that's it. My journey as a San Antonio policeman ends, and I'm on to the next chapter starting the 25th. And I already have like 3 things lined up that day. So Gabe was giving me crap because he's like, dude, it's your first day like of retirement and you're already gonna like be jammed up working. Yes, absolutely. So anyway, and then I have 1 week off next week, or the week after rather, which is my birthday. So this is like an early birthday present for me. And then we're gone for possibly 3 weeks straight in Iowa, doing 2 schools, well, 3 schools, but 2 of them are for law enforcement. And the third one is actually for a treatment provider to train all their clinicians. So anyway, it's going to get busy. This year is going to be super busy. And now we're just starting to gear up and get things ready for 2021 and a couple things that we have going for that. So anyway, that's my announcement. The end is coming. The end is here for this chapter of my story, of my journey. But once I'm actually gone, things are going to change a little bit too. I'm going to reopen the podcast that I was told I couldn't do anymore, and that was actually touching people's lives. It was really providing support to widows of first responders that were taking their lives, and so to be ordered to shut that down was a problem for me. And so that's going to come back online, and we're going to do some press release stuff. We're going to get our information out there, and we're just going to run with this and see what happens. But I think it's equally important that we have the ability to share and say the things that we want to say too. So anyway, I'm making that decision, and I am super hopeful and grateful of the support that you all would provide me as well. So anyway, Jesse, you've been quiet over there.
No, man, I'm super proud of you. I'm super proud of this organization. I was looking at some stats here, right? Like, we know that 20% of businesses fail in the first 2 years of starting, and then about half will fail in the first 5 years. And we continue to defy odds, and that's in no, you know, I don't want to discount like the things that have happened. I mean, I believe things are happening for a reason, and things are happening the way they're supposed to. And I know that this is the right move. And the reality is without even trying, really trying, um, we have secured enough business to the end of the year that's almost impossible to do. But it is virtually impossible to do and have a day job. So when Joe says I'm hanging in there, that's really about the best way you can put it. But this is his announcement, and I'm leaving it to him. I'll leave it at there. I believe that things are going to happen. There's lots of opportunities that are kind of floating in time and space, and they keep finding us. And what I did is, there's a guy that we're in the Marine Corps with, a very special guy, and he and I worked very closely when I was in the Marines. He's a very smart dude, and we got along really well. And like our jobs were like counterparts of each other, and we worked together. And then when you get out, you go on each other's lives, and you find each other back again. And all I know is that he's like some major president of marketing for a major firm in Chicago, and he lives the most amazing life, from what I can tell. And he reached out and said he wanted to help us. So what we have not ever done, what we've never done has been like market. We've never like pushed ourselves on anyone. Everything has been word of mouth. Little things like Joe's TEDx talk went a long way. The movie has led to little things trickling here and there. But mainly the biggest thing that has worked for us, we show up one place and do one training, and boom, this cascade happens. So what we know from this, we're this many years in, from beginning of 17 till now, if we are given a chance, we win. And all we need now is people to start giving chances. And now we have the mastermind of like media, Justin Hagler, behind us, like power pastor, like media genius, is like out of his own pocket, out of his own gear, out of his own staff, just pushing this whole campaign that's coming, right? We got partners with tech companies that are planning for the future, understanding neuroscience and recruiting. I mean, I wish we could tell you everything that exists. One, it would take up the whole show, and you guys forget probably half of it. But I don't think there's a way we can fail. I really don't. And I'm super proud of Joe. The department helped us get here. Like, we wouldn't be here without the experience of being a cop and, everything. And Joe said something profound, right? Like, the only way I could change the department is X, Y, and Z, which is true. But I think that's small scale thinking for Joe, because Joe's meant to change a lot more than just a police department. And it's true. There are rules, regulations, policies, procedures, and it's difficult for a person in a municipal government or any type of government to say what they feel and think, even though you need to say those things to be impactful. And I remember whenever we lost the podcast, I had just, it was about the time I lost my sister. And it was the one thing I was looking forward to. It was the one thing that was giving me hope. I was in deep, deep depression. And to lose that was it was just, I was mourning another loss. And maybe I was coping with it the wrong way. I don't know. But I felt that we were helping people. And to be in a position where the chains can come off, or the leash can come off of Joe, and we can go full on, full throttle, I am so hopeful for the future. And even though like none of the ink is dry on our current contracts for 2020, and we haven't even presented with the new contracts in 2021, I believe they are coming. and we need your guys' help for that too. So support us, keep watching us, sharing us, believing in us, and help me congratulate Joe Smorrow on his new chapter in life.
And just because, thank you for that, Jesse, but because Zach missed it, I just, I let everyone know that I'm going to transition. I'm joining the fire department. So anyway, if you would please support me in becoming a firefighter, Zach. I am totally kidding right now. I'm not joining the fire department. I am joining this department right here, man. This is the department. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna get some swag going.
Give me his ear back.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, look at this, man. We got our first viewer from Shreveport, Bossier City, checking in. Thanks, Murph, man. I appreciate it, dude. That's awesome. That is awesome. There's some really, really good people out there, man. Not just good food. Louisiana is way more than just good food. There are some dang good souls out there. So anyway, so that's the announcement. That's the I'm gonna say that's like the 1.0 version of it, again, because I'm still owned. And I see a podcast coming. Also, this just in, I am going to put this out there too. I am working on my book, and a big part of me finishing this book really has been time. And I know it's an excuse, time's an illusion and everything else, but the reality is I've been chasing 2 rabbits at least for a very long time, and it's exhausting. It's a lot to keep up with. And so for me, just to keep the company afloat and to grow the way we have is a lot of work that goes into it. And so I started a book. I've already got the cover design, the title, everything's there. I would say I'm probably about halfway done, but I'm going to kick it into overdrive. I've given myself a deadline, and I want it to be out, and it's going to be out it'll be out this year, done in stores, online, in your hands. And so there's going to be a lot in there as well about just me and my story and everything that's that I want to say. And I see that as honestly just one book. I probably have 4 in me, but there's some really cool projects happening. There's some really cool opportunities that are coming our way. Things that, here's what I know confidently. I can tell you this. I have no idea what the hell it's going to look like. I have no idea. I don't know what 2021 is going to bring, but I can tell you this. I embrace it, whatever it is. I embrace the adversity. I embrace the challenge. And I know with me and Jesse and the support that we have, there's nothing that we cannot do. I genuinely believe that. It's not me talking, and that's not hyping myself up. That's not hyping up Jesse. Like, I believe in us that much. This is 20 years of relationship, and I think we're ready to just be free and go and do what we love all the time, not just go and do what we love and do what we get to do what we love sometimes. And I think that's a message for some of y'all too in life. It's like, are you stuck? Do you feel unhappy? Are you frustrated? Are you being held down? Are you, whatever it is, like, how much of that is in your control, and is there an alternative? And maybe you could start working towards that. So, I can tell you it's what's happened for me. And, you get told to know enough, and no becomes now. And, I want to go see. And here's the other thing too, because it's only smart to prepare for the worst, right? Premeditatio malorum is just that in the Stoic context. But I've thought, like, what if this falls apart? What if like June or July of next year comes and I've got nothing going? I can't pay Jesse $1. I don't have any jobs, and I'm like, uh-oh, what happened? Here's what I know. I'm hireable. I could always go get another job and try out something else, and I'm always learning. And so it's not that I'm like putting that out there as a fallback plan. That's just, it's important to also be realistic at times. But as my quote the other day with the Daily Gig, Will Smith says, people who are realistic embrace mediocrity. I ain't trying to be mediocre. Like, I'm trying to be like some ridiculous, massive, like, when you think law enforcement culture, I want you to think Joe Smorrow and Solution Point Plus. I mean, that's part of it. And then, I want Jesse working on this whole like side project thing. I'm going to be working on this other stuff. So as we grow, we've already got people that are chomping at the bit to like get in the network, and I love it. And so we're going to do a revamp of the website coming soon. We're going to get people added to it. We're going to really highlight what we're all about. We're going to have more video content. We're going to, again, because of Justin, he really created this was awesome. So last week he brings in his crew again. He's there doing a thing, and I'm watching Jesse watch Justin do this like monologue, and it's a call to action. And he's talking about what other communities can do, what churches can do. And I'm watching Jesse watch him as I'm listening, and it was an emotional experience. I mean, I see Jesse getting a little like glassy eyed, and he's welling up with tears a little bit. And the lieutenant standing there, and he had just finished speaking. I look back at the lieutenant like, "Are you hearing this?" And he was like, "Yeah." Unbelievable. The guy is just a phenomenal speaker, and he's such a great like human being, and it's honest and it's raw and it's genuine, but like he didn't have to do any of this. Not only is he like, "Hey, I'm going to pay y'all to come do this and help us, but I'm going to go above and beyond, and I'm going to help y'all with some marketing. I'm going to give y'all some videos, and then I'm going to push this out to my network of people just to help you guys grow." To me, that's the thing that like gives me the confidence of, we're going to figure this out. We have enough people in our corner, people like Elizabeth Stevens, who's constantly like, "Hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? What about this? Can you guys do this?" People that are encouraging us, people that are providing us with different angles and looking at things through a different lens, maybe than we typically would. We have enough brilliant people in our corners that are going to ensure that we do not fail. So I'm feeling good about it.
It's interesting. In this week also, we had, I guess, a federal bid came out for our wheelhouse, and we had two separate partners and mentors within an hour of each other say, "Hey, let's apply for this." Right? We've had mentors telling us that, you know, we're onto something here. Just believe in yourself. You got to commit 100%. And we hadn't done it. And I think now we finally see it. We finally get it. And we're going to do it. There's no way that we can't win. I forgot to plug in my computer. That's awesome. Yeah.
Come on, man. I build this beautiful studio, for Jesse to have a nice, safe space for him to come and share his feelings with us. And it's like, I strategically put outlets next to him so he could always have power. Golly. Anyway. Yeah, we're at the ramble point. So we're 47 minutes in, and that was it. That was the whole point and purpose. Hey, I'm going to tease this. This isn't a for sure for next week, but possibly for those of you that didn't get to watch the webinar that I got to do with NLI, the Neuro Leadership Institute, we're going to have their senior director of neuroscience who helped create a awareness course. There's going to be a training that we're delivering to law enforcement. It's free for all of law enforcement. We're going to do 4 sessions, and I'll be co-presenting it with Cami Sip, who is a neuroscientist. But I'm going to have her on the show next week, possibly. It's not a for sure yet. I'll announce it as soon as I know. She said she can let me know probably by Wednesday night or Thursday morning. So Jesse and I will make that announcement if we have her. If we don't, we'll pivot. We'll probably, throw Zach on here or something, I guess. Who knows? But we will, I'm hoping that she'll be able to come on because I want our community to meet her too. She's brilliant and really cares about what we're doing with this training. And so Solution Point Plus is partnered with Milo Range, is partnered with NLI, the Neuro Leadership Institute, and using each one of our skill sets. So our skills of delivering to law enforcement, which is super important. Milo Range's skill of the technology and the video and creating scenario-based content. And then NLI of all of the science of understanding the brain better and the different biases that we have and the threat levels and breaking that down. And we did like a beta test for our last Louisiana group, and it went really, really well. And so anyway, the 3 of us are working together to deliver this training. The three companies are working together to deliver this training for law enforcement. There's going to be 4 of them this year, and I'll post those dates so you have them as well, but you can already register for them. And then what we did this class that was different too, and I know we're about to wrap, but I just think it's like, what the hell, why not? Is there's another neuroscience behavior-based company called ThinkX, and they allowed us to test their samples, which is, there's this incredible assessment that they provide. We've talked about it a little bit, but there's this assessment that they provide gets to your like root thinking. So your subconscious. So it maps like the thinking behind your conscious thinking. And it's incredible. I mean, Jesse has done it. Jessica's done it. Jesse has, we've all done it. And it is like dead on, spot on accurate. And so when we did it with the whole group of law enforcement officers and firefighters, not one of them, in fact, one of them argued one point and said like, I don't agree with that one thing. There's 10, there's like 5 blue, 5 red. And he didn't agree with one of the blue ones. And just in like my unskilled ability to coach him, I said, well, I imagine this, and this is probably supporting this, and this is why you're doing this, because his confidence is one of them, and it was pretty low. And he was like, he goes, I know I'm confident. And his words, he goes, I'm the shit. I know I'm the shit. And everyone started laughing. But I said, oh, I imagine that's the story you tell yourself, but it's actually stemmed from insecurity. And you project that out because actually the voice in your head when you lay down at night is telling you that you're probably not good enough. And that's what that captures. And he was like, all right, you're right. You're right. So it was a beautiful moment, but to understand like how we could use this technology, because it's not just an assessment, it's a technology company, and we're thinking about best ways to kind of bring them into law enforcement on the front end of recruiting, and it's incredible. So anyway, we got to test that. It went really good. The feedback was great on it. So things are good. Things are good. Things are just happening because we're doing things for the right reasons, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of you that keep showing up. And yeah, Zach says I'm the best last choice. You know, he's nothing if not smart. He knows. I mean, he is. He's a great. Like if everything falls through, it's like, I guess we'll call Zach. I mean, if like, geez, that's kind of like depressing. And Elizabeth says your work has the best shot at repairing the bridge that connects police to communities again. That's why I'm here. Absolutely. Oh, and Zach, hey, I'm kidding, buddy. I love you, man. Zach's a great dude. So that's it. That's all. You guys are all caught up now. I feel good. Love you, Zach. Zach does a lot of good stuff for us in Iowa. He advocates for us. In fact, as we grow, and you guys see the website and how it's going to look here in the next, let's go like 30 to 60 days. You're going to see some pretty cool things that we're doing, and which obviously, if you didn't know, is here. Oh my goodness! For those still here, I've got people on, so I need you to know this. Hey, check this out. Something new I'm doing. Text me. It's a brand new way to connect with us. So like Gary V, Tom Bilyeu, Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce, Diddy. Yeah, put me in that category. So I have joined Community, and you can text this number to me. It's going to send you an auto response. Yes, click the link. There's no cost. I mean, standard message and data rates apply, but you know most people got free text messaging. You can text this number and join the community, and Jesse and I will be sending out text, which everybody can get. This is like new age social media, but text this number 518-333-9188. Get the auto reply, click it. Oh, real quick, there's one disclaimer. If your family, if you're like my mother, my sister, please don't do it, because I only get 500 people to start. I don't want to exceed it with a bunch of aunts and uncles and cousins, and like y'all can text me directly. The point of this is if I send out a tweet, or if I send out an IG post or a LinkedIn post, then it only goes to people that are following me. And people scroll through it, right? They might read the first 2 lines. With this text community, I can send out a text message, or Jesse can send out one message or a picture or a video or whatever, and it goes to all of you. And so it just is a faster, better way to stay connected with us. And so I would appreciate if you guys would join my community. That's the name of it, is Community. And it's going to tell you to add me as a contact. This is different if you have my other contact, but join the community, please. It's free for you. I bear the cost. And I just would love to be able to send out just little inspirational things, little messages of hope, videos of something me and Jesse are doing. I think it would be super cool. So anyway, if you would text me, I'd appreciate it. 518-333-9188. And that's it. That's all. Jesse, what do you got, man?
No, I just want to say that I'm super proud of you, brother. I've known you since 2000. And we were scrawny, little, scared, cocky little kids in Southern California being sent out of the world. And we saw some fun, crazy shit, bad shit, funny stuff. I mean, we've lived it. And along the way, both you and I have been through the I guess roller coaster that is life. And here we are. And whenever I saw you when you came to this department, you were different. Whenever you went to that unit, what you were doing was different. And I saw you public speaking for this first time, and I said, I don't. That's not the dude I knew in the Marine Corps, right? He just didn't like talking in front of people. He was cocky as hell, but he was not a public speaker. And when you decided you wanted to make this company and you asked me to do it with you, I was honored. And I honestly, I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen, and the skeptic in me, has been disheartened sometimes. And I got to say, I have more faith in you and us and this than ever before. And I'm proud of you, man. I know this decision was not easy, but it's become easier. And I really believe this decision is going to change your life. So congratulations, and I'm glad to be on the journey with you. And I hope I can have the same experience very soon.
And with that, yeah, we just want to serve like Lizzie says, see people solve problems, right? Serve people, solve problems. Is what it is. As we serve, we solve, and so we just want to continue to show up, serve other people, solve problems, help things improve, and not just stay stuck on the point. Like, don't just stay stuck on the problem. Let's grow together. Let's do this. Don't forget. Text me, try this out. I want to see how it's going to go. I want to see if I can build this up. I waited for this show to post it, but now I'm going to go send it out on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm going to share it because I just want to see if I can grow it up a little bit and then get some feedback on it and see how it lands. So anyway, something I'm trying out. I appreciate it. You guys are the loyal few that hang out with us each and every week. So I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. And as we do this a little bit more and we get a little more wild, because here's the deal. As I leave, I think I'm going to start doing these video podcasts topless. Okay, that's ridiculous. I think we would lose our followers.
Zach is.
Zach would be excited. So anyway, you started to say something was coming in 30 days. I think just the website additions, Zach. I said, give me 30 to 60 days, I think is what I was referencing. If it was something else, maybe.
To announce our Midwest regional director.
Something like that. So yeah, we might have a new director of Midwest operations. But it depends. It's like, we'll see. So anyway, all right. Hey, love y'all. Appreciate it. Text it. We'll see you next Saturday. I don't know time yet. Again, if Cami can be here, beautiful, but it would probably be around 1:00 in the afternoon, our regular time. Jesse will be back, and then we'll make some more announcements as we move forward, because now I can share stuff real time. We're done playing games after Thursday. Give me 5 more days. All right. Just give me 5 more days. And then as I know it, you'll know it. Let's go. Here we go. I'm excited. And that's all. Okay, hold on, Jesse. Leave him. You got something encouraging to tell him with? Because I feel like we have to stay consistent, man. Like, you tell him something nice, and then I'll leave him with a quote. Go.
There's no way that we would have got here without you. Every single one of you, in small part or large part, have contributed to our confidence, our successes, our promotions, reassurances, purpose. And while we don't have like a massive following where things go viral, your content sharing and liking and commenting, while small in numbers, has mattered great in value to this organization and to us personally. So I thank you for that. And I can't wait for the year to come where you guys are going to remember when we had these hats and when Joe made this, announcement. And then if I make one, and we're going to look back at this and you're going to be like, wow, you're going to look at the website, you're going to see all these people that are part of this organization and the great things we're doing. And I don't know what's going to look like. I just know that it's coming. But you guys are it. Like, you made it happen for us, and we appreciate you. Every one of you has touched our lives. So thank you. Please stay and enjoy the ride, and we're going to do it together. Big things are coming, I promise. Joe.
I'm going to just go with the same quote that I used this morning for the gig, because I think it's great and it's timely. But what is harder than rock? What is softer than water? Those are questions. And then it goes on to say, yet hard rock is hollowed out by soft water. And what that all means is that, like I described in the Daily Gig, which, by the way, if you don't follow the Daily Gig, go look up Jessica Smaro and just follow it, and then get on her podcast. She's got a podcast because she's brilliant. You'll understand why I like her a little bit. But get on her podcast, get on the Daily Gig, check in with us in the morning. We do it every single day. But the point of that quote is, while rocks are hard and water is soft, yet the hard rock gets hollowed out by the soft water, is, to me, means like love prevails. Kindness is always going to win. Like, there's a lot of things happening in the country right now where people are really just like overwhelmed, scared, frustrated, angry, pissed off, whatever. But the ones who will get through it the best are the ones who will do it with kindness and grace and love. And so we can love people and solve problems. We can serve people and solve problems. And so let us be the water in the world. That's an invitation. I'm inviting you to join us in being the water in the world, and let's hollow out the hardened hearts that exist. Thank y'all. I love you. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.